Hey folks, welcome back to another Poemaster video, and today we're actually going to talk about, some upcoming stuff, right? So, basically, everything with that we've got data mined from the last data download has almost all, I think actually all, been in the game already, except for the Blastoise Synchro, which is coming in a few more days, or Synchro buff fix, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's start looking forward to what we could potentially see next month. So this video, we're going to mainly talk about the next legendary arena, which could be potentially very interesting and could have some other ramifications on the meta-wise in terms of, what unit we're going to get, in terms of banner, all that, which we'll probably talk in a separate video. But first, let's think about which potential legendary arena legendary Pokemon can we see. So far what we've had is, the first one is Entei, second one's Cobalion, third one was Latios, fourth one was Azelf, right? And if you see a bit of a pattern here, it's not, the pattern isn't extremely, sample size of 4, but so far the pattern seems to be, we've been getting at least one of each of the gens so far, right? We haven't gotten any repeats. We haven't gotten, Raikou, Suicune, or whatever, right? We haven't gotten any repeats, so it seems like very likely they kind of want to get one of each gen first before we move on to, some same ones in other, generations, right? So, yeah, so far we have gotten Gen 2 with Entei, Gen 3 with Latios, Gen 4 with Azelf, Gen 5 with Cobalion. And also, the other thing is, generally, Legendary Arenas so far have all been sub-legendary Pokemon. They haven't been, legendary Pokemon. They've been sub-legendary legendary Pokemon. And that leaves us with, because since we're not getting anything from Gen 8 so far, right? So we could write off Gen 8. So that leaves us with Gen 1, 6, and 7. Let's take out Gen 6 first, because Gen 6 does not have any sub-legendary. Like, Gen 6's legendary is really, literally just Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde, those three, right? So it doesn't seem like we're going to get, Gen 6 Legendary Arena. So it's either going to be Gen 1 Legendary Arena or Gen 7 Legendary Arena. Gen 7, let's write off Type Null, because we already got Silvally. And let's also write off the Ultra Beast, because the Ultra Beast, it does seem like they could potentially just come with, banners, right? With in regards to Luzamine with pheromones, right? And also, Ultra Beast, it's a bit of a gray area in terms of if they are legendary or not. Like, officially, it's not legendary, legendaries, right? And the thing is called Legendary Arena, so let's write off Ultra Beast. So basically, what we have are, in terms of our options, are basically the legendary birds and the Tapus. These are the ones that are much more likely to come out, right? So let's go over them one by one and check which ones might be more possible and which ones we might not see, right? So basically, what we're going to base these off of is sort of how much we need them. And it kind of sounds weird, because, like, oh, well, you don't, like, they could give us anything, right? Well, every time we do have a legendary arena, we also get a new banner unit that also gives you, or gives us a Pokemon that could potentially help us, beat it, or at least do relatively well against it, right? So, for example, like, against Latios, we got arguably both Komodo and Lance, right? They weren't too far apart. And then with Azelf, we got Berg rerun, Berg Guzma rerun, and also we got Luzamine, obviously bug type as well. So we've got a few options over there, right? In terms of what we could potentially get here, I'm mainly going to be looking at the weaknesses and see which types we need a bit more, which types we don't really need, which means, more than likely this unit might not be, the legendary arena, a legendary Pokemon instead, right? So let's first look at Articuno. Articuno's weaknesses, weak to fire, weak to electric, weak to rock, and weak to steel. Generally, we don't have an issue with rock, right? We just got a Kukui thing recently, right? And we'll talk a bit. Like rock is interesting because I do think we might get some rock stuff, whatever that means, right? And I'll talk talk about it in a separate video. But generally, I don't think we're gonna get a new banner for any rock types over here, right? Again, we just got a Kukui Synchro expansion. Olivia is still fine, and all that stuff. As for fire, obviously you do not need fire, and it comes down to steel and electric. Steel maybe, but we have Metagross, and Metagross is arguably the best striker in the game right now. At least it's really hard to argue it's not top 5 at least, right? Metagross is still really good. The only argument against that is Metagross is limited, so maybe they want to give us maybe a unlimited option, right? Or give us like they kind of like doing, give us like a, since we do have the Metagross striker, maybe like a tech unit that could do some decent damage, right? Sort of like Milotic for Ho-Oh. And the other thing is we also do have Solgaleo, which is free and still really great steel type striker, right? Although it hasn't rerun in quite a bit, so there might be that issue as well. Anyways, although he was like the last one we got a rerun of, we just haven't gotten like reruns in a while. Anyways, moving on. Electro type is something we desperately need. We desperately need a good electric type striker. Obviously, we do have Ho. Ho's not that great. Pikachu is okay, but like Pikachu, it's just your your limit is very high, but that's power reserve. When you're not talking about power reserve, it still does decent damage, but it's not anything amazing, right? It's like it's a good damage dealer. It's not top tier. Same thing with Ho's okay, but it's not nothing top tier. Maybe we could potentially get an electric type over here, so that makes Articuno a potential candidate. Moving on to Zapdos. In terms of Zapdos's weaknesses, we got basically ice and rock. Ice and rock are the two weaknesses for Zapdos. And again, rock we already talked about, and ice we just got Pheromosa, we just got Ice Steven. I don't think we're gonna be needing another ice type banner, so again, it's possible we could get Zapdos, but it's just not as likely in comparison to Articuno. So we'll just let's just take Zapdos off the list right now, right? Moving on to Moltres. Moltres has water weakness, which we don't need, right? We just got Singsu Blue and Blast. So it's not that he does damage, but he's water, and also we just have so many water type units that do damage, like Milotic, Sharpedo, Barry with a Synchro expansion, Starmie with a Synchro expansion, Cyrus and Palkia. Like we're good on water type units. Also the Egg event with the Striker Blastoise, I guess, which is also pretty nice. So yeah, we're good on water. Again, same issue with Articuno. We would really need electric. That would be nice. As for some other of these typings, rock, again, we've talked about that. So of the three legendary bears, I think Articuno and Moltres are the ones that are more likely to come, right? Maybe Moltres, because they might want to like save Articuno for like winter or something, or Articuno. I mean, it is fall, it's getting cold, I guess, kind of. But anyways, that's the legendary birds. I don't really see Zapdos coming out. It's probably, if I were to guess, Articuno or Moltres, right? Moving on to the Tapus, right? So we got 4 Tapus, and let's go over them. First of all, let's talk about Tapu Koko. Tapus generally, they are all fairy types, so we generally do have like a poison or steel weakness. Since Tapu Koko is steel electric, so we don't have that steel or not steel electric, fairy electric. We don't have that steel weakness really. But as for some other weaknesses, we do have ground, but then again, ground we do have Cynthia, which is again one of the best strikers in the game. Poison we have a decent amount of. We just got Wheezing Jessie for free, right? Outside of that, we just got a lot of poison units. So I don't think poison's going to be much of a factor. And the other, again, just ground and poison are the main two over here. I don't think they're going to be too much of a factor. So maybe I would probably pass on Tapu Koko. I don't think the chance of Tapu Koko would be that high. Moving on to Tapu Lele. So Tapu Lele is week 2, Steel, and Ghost, and Poison. Poison, we're talking about, we don't really need anything Poison. Ghost, we have, Ghost, we got Morty, right? And then with Steel and Morty was just, 2 months ago? So relatively new. And then Steel, Steven, Solgaleo. Could we get another, Steel type striker that's not limited like Metagross is, or an event unit like Solgaleo is? Potentially, but when we're not factoring that, Tapu Lele doesn't have too many of these weaknesses that we really need to talk about either. So Tapu Lele, I'd probably say not very likely either. Tapu Bulu is an interesting one. Tapu Bulu is a very, very interesting one. Obviously, the fire weakness, don't need to consider. Ice weakness, don't need to consider. Poison weakness, don't need to consider. Flying weakness is a very interesting one. So, the big one so far is just electric type weakness, and then over here, flying type weakness. Flying type weakness, we only have, 2 flying strike, or 3, I guess, technically, if I want to count Rayquaza with Aerial Ace. But none of them are particularly great, right? I mean, Blue's still fine. But Kaeli's not that great. So it would be very, very nice if we got a flying type striker that has a Synchrid, right? And if you guys are wondering, maybe they rerun Blue and give Blue a Synchrid, I don't think that's very likely because we just got Signasu Blue, and the Signasu Blue's banner is going through the whole of October as well. So they're still trying to sell Signasu Blue. I don't think they're gonna give regular Blue a Synchrid expansion anytime soon because of that. So maybe a new flying type. That would be really, really nice. So we could have a flying type that has an MP refresh and, move gauge refresh, which would be very, very good for Villa. Because, again, unfortunately, the ones that we have right now, Rayquaza, Kaeli, Blue, they don't have any MP refreshes, which is very suspect in Villa. I guess Kaeli should be fine. Blue really, really needs the MP refreshes. Anyways, Steel, again, same thing, right? So Tapu Bulu is a prime target, and then last one, Tapu Fini over here. Tapu Fini, we got that electric weakness, grass weakness. Grass we don't really need, right? We just got an insanely powerful grass type tech striker that's not really a striker, but is better than all the strikers, all the grass strikers of the game, in Mega Venusaur, and then a Poison as well, and yeah. So again, Tapu Fini, that's the big one. Electric's the big one. So same thing as basically Articuno and Moltres. So I do think Tapu Fini potentially could be one that could come out as well. So yeah, these are the ones that I think are most likely to come out. It's probably going to be between Articuno, Moltres, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini. Again, do keep in mind this is on the basis of if they're just trying to go for one of each gen first, and then they'll cycle back, right? And the other one is based on their weaknesses and what potential banners that they could give us in terms of what we need. Because they are giving us a lot of units that we need so far, right? In terms of typings in the last few months, right? We just got, we got Ice with Pheromosa, it's Ice Steven, Fairy with Clefairy, Jigglypuff, right? All that stuff. So it does kind of seem like they're potentially a more normal type with Silvally. I'm kidding, slightly. So yeah, anyways, that's maybe this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. Let me know what you guys think is coming out next month for Legendary Arena. I'll see you guys in the next one.